I'm Johnny Young Bosch, and you're watching Wolf Thunder Ranger.
All right. Let us discuss the Sharpshooter tier list with you guys and pretty much my personal experience with said characters. So I just broke it up into 3 tiers again because all Sharpshooters are really good thanks to Lucky Shot, so they all can get their damage in, but I went kind of almost off base damage. So you see how there's 2 numbers here? The top number is the mobile armor that I fought, and the bottom number is when you fight a mobile suit. So your damage averages around between those ranges to pretty much give you a pretty decent guess at where your unit stands. So Sniper, I played all these units on Extreme Stage 3 DLC. So this gave me more of like an input on what to expect out of the characters. I also focused more on Sub-Weapon 2 because Sub-Weapon 2 is always supposed to be the strongest move for most of these characters. So I just kind of used that because I made everyone in the 2000 on their range attack, and I gave everyone 80% on their Sub-Weapon 2, and these were my results. So Sniper is B because A, I mean, listen, he's got like not that great of a kit going for him. It's not really working out. 1 Sub-Weapon 2 just for 3,000 isn't enough. The Hayaki Shiki, number 2 here, he has 2 shots with his Sub-Weapon 2, but his SPA kind of diminishes because his other Sub-Weapon is a physical, so you lose a little bit on that range special, where if it was Beam, he might have had a different story when it came to damage output, and I would have been more like thrilled about it. Though I do like Camphor for the fact that he has a 2-shot 2,700 that can average out to 5,400. It's pretty good, and Hayaki Shiki maxes out at 6. I mean, both are really decent. It's just damage-wise, cut rate-wise, they can die pretty quick. But even though Camphor comes with 6 health kits, he's technically a little better. Gun Cannon, though I did appreciate Wheelchair Boy. The fact that he can only hit a mobile armor almost for only like 2,067, and then gets to a mobile suit at 2,605, it's pretty interesting to say the least. I mean, that's only 5,200. I mean, there's other characters that can do like way better than that. So on and so forth. Providence, yeah, he wasn't cut in. 1 sub-weapon only doing 3,000. He kind of tied, but the fact that Hayaki Shiki is kind of better than that, since Hayaki Shiki can do 3,000 as well, and still shoot 1 more for a 6,000 total. It's a completely different story between those characters, but that's why they are rated in the B squad, because, you know, I wasn't too fond of it, how it worked, because, again, thinking about units that hit you, stuff like that, trying to get that second shot in, even spotted, yada yada. Ground type SPG over here did about 5,000 on his sub-weapon 2, which is actually pretty good, and does 7,000 on a mobile suit, which is, again, sounds A to me, because, again, it's 1, but, you know, I wasn't trying to include Lucky Shot too much. Again, Lucky Shot can benefit all these characters to be an OP. I just found like, oh, if I got Lucky Shot with this guy, that's like 10k right there, pretty much. And does 7,000 on a normal mobile suit. Psycho Zaku is pretty A, honestly. I mean, after playing him a couple times and actually getting his sub-weapon kit up, he was able to do a mobile armor in for 3,240 damage, which is solid, and also do 4,400, which means Psycho Zaku can max out on a mobile suit at least like 13,200 with sub-weapon 3. Same for the full armor Gundam. I like him. He was decent. He's a hybrid special, so it's a little iffy here and there where you got to bump something up. That's why I always recommend always get all sub-weapon attack up, etc. But for this tier list, I wanted to focus more on the sub-weapon 2, because that's the most powerful attack for a lot of these units. So even Thunderbolt can hit like a truck as well. He can actually hit 12,800. But notice how he's a little bit weaker than Psycho Zaku when it came to fighting mobile suits. Very interesting stuff. Ground type was doing decent damage, 5,000 to 6,700. It's weird that ground type and GPS are like close in numbers, but didn't tie when it came to fighting mobile suits. But I still consider ground type actually a decent character to play, especially with Missile Strike. Legend Gundam, because he's very versatile when it comes to melee or range, but mostly focused on the melee because he has some really good decent damage when it comes to meleeing. And his sub-weapon 2 is a heavy melee, so he could max out some good melee combos. He could have been an in-fighter at the end of the day. He was really strong, in my opinion, when I was playing him, so I went based off my experience. Wing, though I do like Wing, the series, but I'm still going to put him at A. He's a very decent fighter, but again, if I'm focusing on the sub-weapon type kick, he was only doing 40,200, and he was doing 5,800 on a mobile suit, but this was only a 1. A 1. I mean, GP and ground type were doing 5,000, and they weren't even fighting a mobile armor. Though this is on Dark Gundam, Dark Gundam's cut rate different from other, but within those types of ranges of doing attack, maybe this 4,200 might do 5,000 if it was a different mobile armor, but I just wanted to go based off that because I feel like Dark Gundam is kind of like the last mobile you kind of face along with Hashem in the bottom tiers by the bottom directory 7, so I kind of just went based off that, and your numbers are going to average around like 4,000 in this case, or 5,000, or 5,000, or 45 to 5,000 when fighting mobile armors. Cerevi actually isn't bad. If you do a special close, you do get extra damage. I separated into 4 categories. This is base, so Cerevi actually does 4,000 on a mobile armor and does 5,800 on a mobile suit. But when he goes Trans Am, he actually does 5,700 and then 7,700 on a mobile suit, which was actually interesting to say the least. But I don't like that the ball it's kind of too slow for my blood, but it was decent enough to at least keep him at like an A tier. Phoenix, though, his sub-weapon 2 is apparently ass, and I bumped him up to like everyone else. Everyone here had the same sub-weapon 2 build, just to test how much damage they could put out. All their ranges were in the 2000s and higher, so this is how I got my numbers. So even Phoenix Gundam sub-weapon 2 is not that great. That's why we always focus on sub-weapon 1. I didn't want to put him in B tier because of this sub-weapon 2 deal, because I know he really is all about sub-weapon 1. He wasn't really about this category when it came to making that type of commitment. Now on to our S's. Chow Chow is S for a lot of reasons. A, he has a combo extension. He can continue a combo. He can 0 to death. ZZ is very strong. Starts off with a 5,250, stronger than the ones below, and can do 7,500 on a mobile suit, and if you get weakness damage, it's a whole different ballgame. All these are different when it comes to weakness damage, but first off, think about this way when fighting a mobile suit with ZZ, you're really melting damage at 7,500 in the face. If you get weakness, you probably hit maybe in like the 9 or 10. Quibley, being Qbili, or whatever, has a sub-weapon 2 that's actually pretty decent. It actually has 4,200 on a mobile armor, and 5,750 on a mobile suit. So the fact that you get 3 of these, you multiply that number by 3, that's your true damage on that sub-weapon before you actually reload. So that, again, this is why I put her in the top, because that is a lot of damage. That's some solid burn. And the only reason why Chow Chow has a 5,000 on mobile armor is because he actually hits the weak point every time he goes into a shining ball form, but the real damage is 38 when he hits a normal mobile suit. Still pretty strong in my opinion, because he also breaks the meter faster than most other units. Trudium, yes, definitely. His whole kit was just beam range. You max that out, he's doing a lot of damage already. So I focused a little bit more on his sub-weapon 2 kit, and he was still macking damage, especially in Trans Am. He was hitting for 499, which is a very funny number. But that's what I actually got when I was using that sub-weapon 2, especially in Trans Am. It went higher. At 499. It was actually maxing at 3,500 on Dark Gundam, which was weird. But then, like, once I got into Trans Am on the hyper modes of Burning and Master Asia, yeah, that happened. V is actually really solid victory here. Solid stuff. Honestly, I was shocked when I played him. He was hitting for 4,000 on a mobile armor and 5,350 on a normal unit. Though it's not as strong as Quib, it's not as strong as Quib, or actually no, he is stronger than Full Armor Z due to the fact that he can hit 4,000 for a 2-shot wonderment, and yeah, he kind of, believe it or not, Victory actually ties Full Armor in the sense of he only does like an extra. Never mind, V stronger. He goes up to 10k, which is 2 of those shots, versus Z, who only gets to 7,500. So this is definitely very different. Never mind. So Victory is actually quite stronger than Full Armor, which is kind of funny when you think about it. But yeah, definitely had a great time with this. That 2 shots of 4,000 or 2 shots of 5,350. These are all in the face. This is not accounting weakness. So keep that in mind, because that means all this can go even higher if you went for weakness. F91 is S because he does vary. He doesn't do so hot at the beginning with his sub-weapon 2, like the max number was 33 and 44. 33 on the mobile armor, 44 on unit. But once he goes into that mode, he does 6950 on a mobile armor, and he does 9200 base in the face on mobile suit. So in the back, probably does a whole crap ton more. The Kashatari actually is really good with sub-weapon 2 up. 3250 on mobile armors, which was pretty good. That means if you multiply that by 3, you'll be in the 9000s. I mean, not as strong as Quib, but decent enough. I mean, obviously you can put her in 8 for that. I feel like Quib just kind of outpowers the sub-weapon kit a lot. But 5100 on a mobile suit is pretty good. That means she averages out 15,000, but Quibbly also maxes at 15,000. So both of these units with their beams and funds are a really, really good time. Banshee actually, with sub-weapon 2 up, is actually decent for damage. I mean, it's 3250. It doesn't look. I mean, it may not be 4200 where it's a one shot, but it's 3250 with his other sub weapon 1 kit. I still counted sub weapon 1, so like if they had at least a good decent sub weapon 1, I was still gonna put them in the S tier, and that's what Banshee still technically had, a good sub 1 with this sub 2. And obviously this is in the face damage, not back damage, where you hit in the 5000s when you shoot him in the back, etc. But yeah, Banshee definitely gets the spot because he actually shoots faster than normal and can really get in that damage in the back. But yeah, 3250 was a mobile arm, 4450 was a mobile suit. This is without weakness, so that means there's more damage when it comes to weakness. Former Unicorn obviously is A tier. I didn't even bother working with like a sub weapon 2 with him because honestly, it's all beam melee, just not beam physical. Well, physical period, just physical because he's just punching things and he just kills. So he's S tier just in regards that he can just murk an entire hyper mode squad of Master Asian burning in like a second, which I did in my how to build video. So he got the S just for that. He wasn't even in the 2000s on his freaking melee, which is funny. Believe it or not, I had to test High News sub weapon 2 just to see how much damage he can put out. He did 3700 on a mobile armor, but 51 on a mobile suit. Though I like those numbers, and for the ranged part, he actually is a very, very strong melee fighter that I would never take that away from him because he does have infighter combo chains more than the average bear. So he should have honestly been an infighter with funnels, but that's just me. But he does have an infighter combo string, which lets him be strong and be on that S tier class of combo to 0 to death type deals, which I enjoy. Reborn S tier. I'm sorry, once this man goes Trans Am, this is game over. But I did do a sub weapon kit test just to see how much damage he can do. Mobile armor, he was doing 32. Mobile suit was 44. Trans Am, he only went up 100. So apparently Dark Gundam is very heavy on cut rates against beams. But mobile suit, he was doing 5,000, so he has 2 shots, so he can max out at 10k in Trans Am, which is pretty good, honestly, if you think about it. But obviously not better than what we were discussing before this. But yeah, no, he also has a 0 to death when it comes to playing Reborn's Gundam, because honestly, it's insane, because I've actually performed it, and I was very happy that Reborn actually had this type of potential. And of course, Command Gundam, 3 kit sub kit. He's doing 2950 per shot per 3, which isn't like really bad, especially considering like he has his machine gun as well. Like I said, I still accounted for sub weapon 1 for this type of character. But Command Gundam is definitely very strong, can be melee. Again, another versatile sharpshooter that I enjoyed playing, and I'm like, you know, I like where you're at. This is like S to me. I enjoy your kit. It's very burning and melting, and I honestly can't get enough of what you're dropping here. So that's how I kind of came to my decision on how this tier list should be kind of made out. I'm not trying to play fairs because I would have put Wing up. I would have put but I'm like, nah, I gotta have like some A's. Like yeah, they're decent. This is decent. I mean, they're doing that much damage. Like he's doing more than Trudium, but Trudium technically has Trans Am. I'm not gonna take that away. He's doing more than well, he's not doing more in the mobile armor department against Victory and stuff like that, but it's decent damage again with the pop-ups and this. I put him at A for fun characters, and then you have like the burn characters on the top. is what I say. Burners and killers that can actually just keep burning. Though, I mean, this list is justified to the extent, like, you see the numbers, so obviously you could be moving some of these people up, some of these people down. But this is just my personal experience with the characters and what I've been enjoying with the game and what I found most appealing to some. Mostly me. But anyways, that's my sharpshooter tier list. So that's kind of how I was going to base this off. I might as well just use Sub-Weapon 2 because all sharpshooters are godly with Lucky Shot at the end of the day. And they all can do like really good amount of damage, especially with Lucky Shot. Definitely with Lucky Shot. But that is our sharpshooter tier list, guys. I mean, that's all I have to say. I hope you find this helpful. Everyone was in the 80 percentile with their Sub-Weapon 2. So this is 8% of their damage at 2,000 range. So obviously, if you need a reference to make sure you're hitting that much damage, which means your weapons are at the accurate spot, you can definitely come back here. So thanks for watching, guys. Y'all be good. Y'all stay safe. This was a crap ton to make and really decide on, but this was all my personal experience with these Gundams, and they were all like pretty fun their own way, even Camphor. But they can all still be playable thanks to Lucky Shot, so that's a good sign at the end of the day. So y'all be good. Y'all stay safe. We'll see you all another time. Peace out.